Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Jimmy Scott Fitness Podcast Radio Show, coming to you on this Sunday, October the 29th, 2023. Hopefully, it finds you staying safe and staying sweaty all at the same time. On today's episode, we are talking about the low hanging fruit, the easiest, most efficient things you can do to be healthier, move better, feel better, recover better, have a healthier overall life. I'm going to walk through probably 10 different protocols, maybe more. But I'm going to start with the easiest ones that I personally do each and every day to allow me to keep this train moving. And sometimes it feels like the world's trying to derail you. And I think a lot of you are probably there at times as well. But that is what I'm going to focus on today and talk about, and hopefully give you guys some pieces that you can walk away with and help you crush the rest of 2023, as it's it's already November. It's crazy how fast time seems to go. In the shitty moments, it seems like it's forever, right? And that's in the micro, but in the macro, life goes by quick, and if you don't slow down, you'll miss it. But a couple housekeeping things before we begin. One, again, you guys know the Jeremy Scott Fitness app is live. Many of you guys are in there. Again, thank you. We appreciate the support. We are wrapping up our Action Hero Jack program inside of the app, and we are going to finish off the year with a microdosing mobility program. Again, don't steal the name, it's ours. That is a program I think everybody should do. We are just going to let it kind of live and breathe inside the app. We're going to release it week by week. It is 32, is it 32 days? I filmed it so long ago. I've had this in my back pocket for probably 6 months to a year. But I know it's important. I know the end of the year is a busy time for a lot of people, and you tend to neglect yourself and your health. At least that's what I've witnessed over my, almost 2-decade career now. And so the microdosing mobility program is just a couple of minutes each and every day. And so it'll be inside the app. If you're an app member, you get it for free. Anybody else, jeremyscottfitness.app, you can jump in there and you can do it. I believe we're going to start it on, what does my calendar say? November the 20th here. I think it's 16 or 17 unique individual protocols, and then we double them up to see if you improve from, like, let's say day 1 until day 17, give or take. So if you want to move better, feel better, you don't do enough mobility, you don't do enough tissue work, I think this is the program that you guys should jump into. I'm going to pump it like nobody's business as we get into November here, but that's what's next on the docket. Otherwise, all my weekly workouts are in there. There's literally over 1,000 different workouts, mobility, follow along, upper body, lower body. We have, high intensity stuff. We have Metcons. We have bodybuilding stuff. We have something almost for everybody inside of there for all levels. So jeremyscottfitness.app, you guys get a week for free if you want to try it. Hang out. If you want to stay, it's a couple of pennies a day. If it doesn't work for you, I'm happy to suggest somewhere else for you guys to go to be as healthy and as fit as possible. And you guys already know, I'll talk about this a little bit on the episode, but we are obviously brought to you by my friends at AG1. drinkag1.com/Jeremy Scott. If you want to click that link, we'll give you a year's supply of free vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first order. Most of you know this is the one thing I take every single day. When I travel, doesn't matter if it's in the States, out of the country, I take the AG1 with me. Travel packs are the easiest thing in the world. You grab them, rip it, throw it into a water bottle, shake it, slam it, and you're good to go. If you're not going to take 15 different pills every day, and even if you are, this is an easy way to kind of cover the gaps in your nutrition. So it gets you all the micronutrients you need, all your fruits, all your veggies, helps your gut health, helps boost your energy, which Lord knows we all need, supports the immune system, and the best part is I think it's the best tasting on the planet, so I don't make an excuse not to take it. That's probably why I've been taking it for, I think, almost 6 years at this point. So if you guys want to check it out, links in the show notes here, or if you want a free sample, 100% on me, reach out to us. I don't care how you contact us. We will get you a free sample pack to try. See if you like it, and then get hooked up with all the free stuff from there. So don't feel afraid to ask. We are offering because we want to help you guys and get it to you so you can try it before you buy it. Nobody else is doing that, but we are. So please ask, and I will send you a pack right to your front door today. All the other sponsors are in the show notes. Our friends at Dry Farms Wine, which Heather loves. Our friends at Sleeves Sold Separately, which is all my joggers and my hoodies. And JLab Pro, where I get my protein, turmeric, collagen, and krill oils. JeremyScottFitness.jlabpro.com. We have a ton of discounts and stuff inside there as well for you guys. Also, there's a free supplement guide inside of our app. But if you want it outside of that, feel free to hit me up and just ask. So, talking low-hanging fruit. A couple of quick things before I even jump into that. One, I got an email going out to the newsletter. I think it's going to be, I think I call it like midweek thoughts maybe. Just kind of run down to some things I've been listening to, watching, and doing during the week that I think are valuable for you guys. So that is why I'm sharing them there. And one of them happened to be this podcast that the great and powerful BJ Gaddour did. And let me look on my phone here. The episode's called Anti-Social Media, and it's episode 248 of BJ's podcast. It's basically just him discussing all the things he learned on social media over the past 2 decades, in addition to sharing his current, and I quote, antisocial approach to social media for mental health and stability. If you don't want to hear the first 20 minutes because you don't care about any of the intro stuff or Lakers basketball, that's fine. If you just want the nitty gritty of the social media stuff, it's about 25 minutes in. He goes real hard. Now, I love all his stuff, so I listened to the whole episode. It's about an hour and 10 minutes. And admittedly, I don't listen to many podcasts. In fact, short of like turning on like, Graham Hancock, talking shit with Rogan, and just playing it in the car, I don't listen to too many. And BJ's is one of the few. And I can't catch every episode. I'm busy. I got a normal life. I got to give you guys content too. But for some reason, when that one popped up, I'm like, when was it? Was it Tuesday night? Wednesday night. I saw it here and I put it in the car on the way over to my mom's place. And I'm like, man, there's some fucking gold in here. And I rarely finish the episodes, but I went all the way through. I think it's good for any young creator, anybody who creates content in general, anybody who's in the fitness industry, anybody who uses social media for business. Honestly, it's good for anybody who uses social media in general. There's a lot of good tips to take away. Anybody who has kids, I think it's a good listen to as well for you, just to get his perspective and kind of the perspective that I have too, where I'm very grateful for the, whatever the term social media means, which is basically just the internet these days. But, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, YouTube. And if you want to throw podcasts in there, I guess it's part of it too. I'm super thankful for that. It has changed my life dramatically, financially for sure, to a level that, let's be honest, as fitness people, I don't think I could never reach it without having the digital footprint to be able to scale this business and reach people and do the sponsorships and brand partnerships and those things. And so I'll always preface everything I say about social media as I'm very thankful that it does exist. And there is a lot of good that can come from it. There's a lot of good that has come from it in my life. And in the very same sentence, everything in life comes at a cost. Everything in life you pay a price for, whether that be your time, effort, energy, your dignity, your sanity, your morals, you name it. And I've navigated the space the best way that I could for me and my personality type. And it's not for everybody though. And unfortunately, it is also for everybody, meaning if you don't want your kid to be on it, it's tough because your kid almost has to use it. Otherwise, the other kids make fun of them. They feel like they're missing out, and there's this weird kind of space you're in. And I just feel lucky that I grew up without it. So my personal self-confidence and worth of self was developed way before these things ever came about, and I already had a super thick skin anyway. But it does come at a cost, man. Living your life online like we do in the public eye, if you will, or at least sharing with you guys. I obviously share uh, more than BJ does, but he built one of the biggest platforms, or the biggest platform in fitness, at Men's Health, and it takes a toll on your physical health, but your mental health for sure. And your brain is not equipped, and I've said this for a long time. I don't think our brains are equipped to listen to and watch global news. I just think it's too much at one time to take on all the world's problems. And I posted this the other day on Instagram. Uh, we had some family in town, and we were out on a boat on Friday, and I have a Garrett vote for Dalton Garrett 2024 shirt from Roadhouse, if you guys know. Probably the most badass shirt that I own, or one of them. And I've said this for a long time, and it's a joke politically because I don't really give a shit about politics. I don't follow it close enough. And that's not to say don't be informed, but I've always said it matters more that happens at my house, than the White House, because that's what I can control. And I can't watch the local news. I can't watch global news. It'll put me into a negative headspace. And I say that to say this: you're not meant as a person to have hundreds of thousands of people watch everything you do. It's just we're not made for that. No, obviously what we share is what we curate, and we give you guys the most real and authentic stuff that we choose to. Most of it fitness related, or just helping you be healthier and happier, hopefully, and giving you some perspective on life. We're sharing some funny things of me wearing a fake political shirt out on a boat for all the people who are kind of in my age bracket and grew up on 80s movies. But we're not meant to get praise by that many people. We're not meant to see that many negative comments. Technology is moving so fast. I don't know where it goes, but he does a great job on the episode breaking it down and giving you guys kind of how he approaches it. And there's no right or wrong answer for anybody. But if you are going to create stuff and be out there and put yourself out there, I would give it a listen. It's a good lesson from someone who's done it, in my opinion, at the highest level for a very, very long time. Somebody who grew up without the platforms and has lived through the whole cycle of, the early adopting kind of heydays of being it, into now having it evolve to this where we're making these 15-second videos because that's where people's attention span is. And that's why what the hell can I give you in 15 seconds, right? Like, how much value can you get by watching me do an exercise for 3 seconds? Maybe it's helpful, maybe it's not, I don't know. That's why I do like the podcast platform that much better, because I can go into detail. Life is complex, life is messy, there's nuance to it. Hopefully I can give you a deeper look and help you more here than watching me do a TikTok video of split squats or whatever it may be. But it's a great episode, so I just wanted to plug it and share it, because again, I'm thankful for social media, but it does come at a price. And I do think if you let it can do more harm than good. It can suck you in. It can eat your time up. It can fuck up the way that you see yourself and the way that you see the world, comparison, self-value, all of those things. There's a lot of negativity that comes with it if you don't do it with good mental guardrails in place. And the last thing I'll say about that before I go is just, be where you are. When things are going rough in your life and you're having a shitty time, whether it be physically, mentally, or emotionally, it's hard to be present. And I'm guilty of this too. If I don't feel good physically or mentally, or I have something like really nagging on me, it's hard for me to be present in the moment. Like, I might be somewhere, but I'm not really there. You guys understand what I'm saying? Like, you've all been at dinner with friends and you've had shit going on with your parents or your family, or you physically don't feel good or something happened, and you're at dinner but you're not at dinner. And 99% of my life, I'm very good at being present in the moment. And I shared little glimpses on social media yesterday. We happened to go to a football game here, and I probably shared 2 clips for a total of about 20 seconds. Other than that, I was only on my phone before the game, and then at halftime, and then almost before it ended, just texting with someone else who's at the game, talking shit about the performance. But I was there. I was watching it. I wasn't living my life through the phone. And oftentimes I feel that that's what people want to do, is just live your life through a camera instead of actually just like living the moment and being there. And again, excuse me, I got the Metcon cough today. It's just a brutal workout as always. But just, I don't know, navigate the best way you can, but just be present in your life with the people around you. The worst thing I hate seeing is being in with a group of 5 people and everybody's just staring at their phone. It's like, why are we even together? We could have done this, from inside our own home. So just thoughts from an old head, but BJ does a great job on the podcast breaking that down. Also, side note, Heather and I have been watching some shows here or there when we can. I catch the movie Old Dads on Netflix. Excuse me. If you guys are looking for a laugh, it's a good pickup. Bill Burr does a great job. Basically, just plays himself. But it's classic. If you're around our age, meaning late 30s and beyond, I think you'll enjoy it. Younger kids, I think you'll like it too. But if you're late 30s and beyond, doesn't matter if you're a parent or not. Old Dads is it's a hidden gem on there if you've not checked it out yet. So we're talking low hanging fruit here after my 16-minute rant about BJ's awesome podcast. It's the basic stuff. The one thing I'll say, I don't know if this is low hanging fruit, but I was reading about sleep the other day. I'm like you guys, I've go through bouts of having great sleep where it's perfect. Then I have going bouts of, basically shit sleep. And I've had my own battles with insomnia too, as well, where like I've had a week where I slept about, 5 hours total, which not good. Not good for your body, not good for your brain. It fucks you up. And most of the time, that's what it is. You're trying to turn your brain off and relax. And I'm not going to go over all the basic sleep protocols that they do give, but there is this kind of military method for sleep. It's kind of this little 8-step walkthrough where they talk about just like relaxing your jaw and the muscles in your forehead and your cheeks and focus on calming your breathing. If you guys, don't have a breathing protocol, relax your arms and drop your shoulders so you're not tense. Imagine, just this kind of warm sensation flowing through the body. Take a deep breath and slowly exhale, relaxing your chest and stomach. Or if you guys want to practice the diaphragmatic breathing, the other protocol I do a lot of times just to be calm and chill is 5 seconds in through the nose, 15 seconds out through the mouth, which is actually very tough to do. And then just mentally imagine yourself in, maybe like a canoe in a calm lake and there's this clear blue sky above you, or just like you're in a hammock relaxing and it's just this black velvet, pitch dark room that you're in. And then if you do find yourself wandering, there's this little repeat protocol that says for 10 seconds, just say, don't think, don't think, don't think. Oftentimes I've used things like counting, which tends to help me. Hey, I'm going to count to 100 and hopefully I fall asleep well before that. And again, just practicing those basic techniques each and every day. I thought it was interesting the way that they do it. There's also ones where the military guys will elevate their legs when they take kind of like the quick 20-minute naps and those types of things. But not that sleep's a low-hanging fruit, because I do think it's a huge cornerstone of what you have to do. But you do got to get restorative sleep. I don't know, everybody's different. Everybody has a different protocol and way that they do it. But if you can get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 quality restorative hours of sleep, it's like being on steroids. It's like a natural, performance enhancer. But it's tough. You got work, you got kids, you travel. There's so many factors that go into it. It's tough. Like even like last night, we're at a football game late, and I get home. My whole routine is it's fucked. I'm super tired today. I'm dragging ass, and I went to bed before everybody else, and I drank no booze. Everybody else did. Some people way more than others. So I'm sure their sleep was probably worse than mine and a little erratic. But it's tough to do. But off the top, I think if you can try to have a sleep routine that makes sense for you in your life, and you might have to play with it, you might have to do different things. And here's the thing about all these hacks I'm going to share. What worked last month might not work this month. And that's okay. Does it suck sometimes when it was working good and now it's not? Yeah, it does. But you just got to wake up each and every day and just try to navigate the next day and find something that works. Maybe it's changing settings or temperatures or time or background noise or doing more of something or less than something or changing your eating times, whatever it may be. Trying to get that sleep in your life is critical. Take it from me. Again, you've all been there where you had shit sleep, or maybe you had a couple days, especially you moms and dads, like with newborns and stuff. It just becomes really rough trying to navigate life when you slept for 2 hours. You're like a shell of who you are. You might have muscle spasms. You might go delirious. You might you know see things that aren't there. You're just slow. It's not ideal, and it's not good. So the sleep one was interesting to me just to read through the basics. But again, sleeping is critical for each and every one of us, each and every single day. If I'm gonna go easiest, low hanging fruit, or the lowest of the hanging fruit to the hardest hacks, walking. You guys, walking 7, 8, 10,000 steps a day minimum, I think is like a cheat code for a lot of you. If you're only walking 5,000 steps a day, bumping it to 7, 8, 10 is going to be a huge game changer in 3 months from now. Walking is basic. It's the one thing hopefully we can do, our entire life. You got to think about when you sort of take things away from your life, how is the quality of your life? If you took away walking, life would kind of suck. You got to roll around everywhere. Wouldn't be ideal. You can't hike. You can't go do fun things. You're limited access, limited mobility. So walk. And again, if you can't find time to do that all at once, just do little increments. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here. Walk 30 minutes in the morning, walk 30 minutes at night, whatever it may be. Just find a time to get the steps up. If nothing else, 10,000 is a number we throw out there. For a lot of people, I think if you're not anywhere close, get to 7. Do that and then work to get the steps up. And just make it mandatory and make it a goal. Hey, I'm not going to go to bed until I get these steps in. And if you want to tack on top of the steps, rucking, really basic. I have a full podcast on rucking in depth, you guys. Again, I think for a couple more days, I got a discount on the Go Ruck stuff. I'm trying to get them to extend it as long as humanly possible. But if you want my exact ruck gear and you want 10% off, I can hook you up real quick. So hit me up ASAP and I'll share that with you. But the nice thing about rucking, it's easy on the joints. You're going to walk anyway, and it burns almost as many calories as running and about 3 times the amount, depending on how you weight load it, versus just walking. And it doesn't got to be super heavy. Bring 10 extra pounds with you. For a lot of you guys, 20 is a good range. Obviously, probably no more than 30% of your body weight starts to get heavy. But a lot of the rucks I go on, just 20 to 50 pounds is what I put in. If I'm going to go super far, 20 pounds is it. If I'm going for maybe just a half hour or even an hour and I'm going on, kind of basic terrain, 50 pounds is fine. I've gone heavier for sure, which is a chore. But even last week on, I think it was Friday morning actually, with Heather's family in town, we just walked down to some mountains that are by our house and walked all around this little mountain trails. And I just had a 20-pound plate carrier on my back. So just a little Go Ruck 20-pound plate carrier and just walking around. Super simple. And I could have just walked it like everybody else, but I'm like, well, shit, why not, work my quads more, my upper back more, my hamstrings more, my core more, focus on posture and burn, probably 3 times as many calories doing it with this pack on versus just walking. And it wasn't uncomfortable. It wasn't tough. Now, obviously, if I do stuff way heavier during the week, so this is easy, but I could go for, 5-6 mile hike, if you will, with the ruck on. So again, sleeping, walking, rucking, all super easy for you guys. Could be done with minimal or no budget at all, basically. On top of that, carrying things. carry stuff. Now, rucking is a version of that, if you will. Farmer's carries. Again, this doesn't got to be super heavy, but just adding an external load to the body is something simple. It's efficient, it's effective, it's easy on the joints, and it's something that we do in our normal lives anyway. And as humans, it's something we're good at. We're not fast compared to most animals. We're slow. But we can go long distances and we can carry shit better than anybody else on the planet. We can carry stuff longer and farther than anybody else on the planet. Now, albeit we're slow at it, compared to a cheetah or a horse or whatever it may be, but we can do it. So I do like farmer's carries. The standard, just load up each arm. I like the single arm carries. I like the rack carries. I like overhead carries. I like goblet carries, bear hug style, you name it. Grab a dumbbell and take it with you. Grab a sandbag, take it with you. And I'm not saying you have to do that on your nightly walk, but if you're going to go, walk your dog, you can ruck your dog, right? It's not that much different. You just put the pack on, take your dog, and you do your thing. That's easy. If you're crunched for time, like for me, a lot of times if my brain is dead or I'm just tired and I don't want to deal with shit, the easiest workout I do here, when I say easiest, easy is a relative term, the most brainless, I'll put it that way. It's not the easiest workout I do. I'll push a sled here 150 yards and I'll pull it. Most of the time I'll push it, but if I, get in a mood, I'm like, okay, I'll do push pull. I'll mix it up. I'll mix up my foot placement wide, close, but I'll just go sled push, which would be the next thing on my list. If you can just push basic weight, that's it. Drag your kid in a wagon, same difference. It's a basic sled push. Then I'll go farmer's carries, 50-pound dumbbells each hand, 150 yards. Then I'll take those same dumbbells, I'll put them on the ground. I'll do a little deficit push-up. And I'll do that for about 30 minutes. And I'll mix up all the carries. So I'll do all different carries throughout. Farmer, single, overhead, you name it. I'll mix up the sled stances. And I'll mix up the push-up grips. Diamond style, V-shape, inverted, wide, close, you name it. And after about a half hour, I'll see where I'm at in terms of steps. And I'll put a ruck pack on. And typically if I'm here at work, I'll put 50 pounds in the ruck pack. And I'll just walk around. That's it. It's easy on my joints. It's brainless. It's efficient. I'm moving my body through space. I'm getting steps in. I'm getting up. I'm getting down. I'm working the entire body. Win, win, win across the board. And what I really do, I walked with load in my hands and on my back, and I pushed and pulled dead weight. That's it. That's a super simple, efficient workout. Now, if you don't have access to a sled, there's a lot of, work throughs. If you can't sled, you could do walking lunges. If you couldn't do walking lunges, you could do step ups. If you don't do that, you can do some other form of resistance on a machine. You could be big boy walks on a treadmill, you name it. There's a million different ways to get there, but that's one of my favorites. I like to do it actually on a Saturday here, which is exactly what I did. Sled push, farmers, push-ups, 30 minutes, as many rounds I can squeeze through. Rucking after that, and typically I do all my mobility stuff before. So if we're talking low-hanging fruit, getting quality sleep, walking, rucking, carrying things, all different ways, shapes, and forms in your workout. If you only had 10 minutes and you could just do a carry variation for a minute, the next minute you just walk or just hang there in active rest and do that for a minute on, a minute off for 10 minutes, it's not a terrible workout. Hey, minute 1, I'm going to do my farmer's carries. Minute 2, if you want to get fancy, you could do just some basic mobility drills and then repeat that for 10 minutes. That's not bad. Or say, hey, I'm just going to, push a sled for 10 minutes today. Not a bad day. And I know people think well, it's only 10 minutes. I go, yeah, but every day that you do that, if the old you would have done nothing, you're so much further along. And all you do is invest 10 minutes of brainless time of just moving your body over and over and over consistently. So workout-wise, those are some of my easiest ones. I jump ahead a little bit because I get excited here. Mobility would be on that list. So if we're talking sleep, walking, rucking, carrying, sled pushing, mobility would be right after sleep. It'd be, or I guess, right after walking, probably, all in that kind of same time frame. And when I say mobility, it's just you guys moving your body through space, through four ranges of motion, working on end ranges, stretching the tissues, being in different positions and postures that you're typically not in, whether that be doing 90-90s to a shin box, or doing pigeon stretches on the floor or on a bench box, doing the couch stretches either on your couch or against the wall, hanging from a pull-up bar, the BG Cador, every hour on the hour, or just, hey, every day I'm going to hang from a pull-up bar for at least a minute or two. And your feet can hang or your feet can drag, it doesn't matter, but just decompressing the spine, lifting your arms overhead, super simple stuff to do. That's what I mean in terms of mobility. If I want to piggyback off mobility, foam rolling and tissue work. Just get on the ground, get the roller out, and just do some discovery. Touch your calves, touch your quads, touch your glutes, roll your T-spine. See what feels good, or just lay the foam roller the length of your spine and just open up. Let the anterior shoulder and pec just stretch. Do snow angels down there. Just rotate things in a way that you typically don't. Super easy and simple to do. All the things I just mentioned already. Walking, carrying stuff, doing mobility. You can all do that. And if you just tack that on 5 to 10 minutes extra each and every day, exponentially you're going to see so many gains. And if you're crunched for time, just do that. Hey, Jeremy, I only have 17 minutes today. Just do mobility and live to train another day. That's fine. And if you feel good and you want to mix it up, that's great too. But you tell me you going through world's greatest stretch for 5 minutes, which is essentially an inchworm to a Spider-Man step to a little hamstring pullback, hip opener to open up your T-spine, and rotating on the other side, and then inchworming it back up. That's great. You can squat into that. You can bear crawl into that. It's a simple thing to do. Put 5 minutes on the clock. Go through world's greatest stretch. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's on our app or it's on the Jeremy Scott Fitness YouTube page for free. And I have a 5-minute anytime mobility flow you can walk through. That is low-hanging fruit, my friends. The things that you want to be able to do forever: walk, carry shit, and be mobile. That's it. Trying to keep you out of the nursing home, trying to keep you in the game. I got a neighbor 2 doors down. He's like 98 years old, still drives his own car, still goes dancing, still walks the mall. Dude's a fucking savage. Am I going to get there? Probably not. But he's there, and it's awesome to see. But, he's lean, he's fit, he's mobile, and he moves pretty well. And he's there. There's luck of the draw, obviously, that comes with that, but he did all the other things right. Low-hanging fruit, my friends. On top of that, get outside. Just if you can. It's tough. I know people who are listening to this in the Midwest are like, Jeremy, it's 4 degrees. I know. If you can't get outside, as much now this time of year, get some sunshine. Like, see the sun. If you're in a place where there's not sun, that sucks, dude. I say this all the time. People will message me from like Wisconsin or wherever and say, hey, Jeremy, the weather sucks. It's super dark. It's cold. What should I do? And I'm like, you should move, man. And I know that's not an answer for everybody. You got kids, you got jobs, you got family. Life is complicated and it's messy. But, living out here on the West Coast is a cheat code, to me. To live in a place that's this sunny and this warm all the year. We're at a football game last night. I'm wearing a hoodie. It's by the time we leave, it's like 67 degrees, and it was sunny all day and 84, and it's the end of October. Like, it's beautiful. So I'm out here with my shirt off. Businesses are closed and nobody's around, so I'll take my clothes off here a little bit, and I'll work out and just get some sunshine. I think it's healthy for you to see the sun, during the day. And if you can get your body in it, for 20, 30 minutes, an hour would be great, with some skin exposure. I think it's real healthy for you guys in terms of getting your vitamin D up and just being outside and not being cooped up inside a box, inside 4 walls with these, fluorescent lights and screens and all the shit we got to deal with. I just think the more you can see the sun and be outside, the better it is, especially when you wake up, or get some exposure to it. And if you're in a place that where the climate allows, just be out there. It's a easy thing to do to make you healthier. On top of that, we'll talk water real quick, but not just basic water. Get some electrolytes in your body. Get a little bit of salt, get some electrolytes in there, especially if you're sweating and moving. Even if you're not, doing at least like one scoop or like one electrolyte packet a day, I think will go a long way for you guys. As opposed to just drinking, sodas and booze and just plain water. Getting some salt and electrolytes into your system is going to be a performance enhancer for sure. On top of that, if you can find a place that has legit coffee, I'm a huge coffee fan too. Obviously, cut it off, later in the day. I typically don't drink any caffeine after 2:00. That usually tends to be my hard stop. Once in a great while, if we have a podcast that runs late and I'm taking a couple sips, that's probably it. Otherwise, I try to do my coffee earlier in the day, cut it off by 2:00. Gives you a little energy boost. And again, it's a performance enhancer. It's, again, low-hanging fruit. Most of you guys, you're already doing the coffee, so it's not too complex. On top of that, supplement-wise, you already know where I'm going. I take AG1 every day. It's easy for me. I get busy. I travel. Last night, I couldn't take, any other supplements till, later in the day. So it's like, 9:45 while I'm getting everything in. But yesterday during the day, like anything else, before I eat anything, I take my AG1, put it in some water, slam it, I'm good to go. It's an easy fix to kind of cover the gaps in what you're doing, and it's an easy health hack to throw in. It takes 30 seconds. I'm all about things that are quick and efficient. So that's an easy one for me personally. If you don't like that, there's other stuff you guys can do, but just having a routine and a time for those things, I think, is ideal. So if you take these supplements in the morning, if you take these ones at night, if you take them, before breakfast, if you take them after breakfast, if you take them before bed or after bed, before dinner, after dinner, before bed, after bed, I think that's fine. But just having that in place and making it simple, efficient, and quick. In terms of food, this is real basic. I'm not going to rehash the same things I always say, but protein, produce, and water, wash, rinse, repeat. Have an idea of how many times you're going to eat each day, and have an idea of what's going to go into those meals, and just make it be protein, produce, and have some water in those meals. That's it. Again, you can go as complex as you want, but I just think having 30 to 50 grams of protein in every meal you eat is probably going to be beneficial for most of you guys. And then fill the rest of it with healthy fats and healthy carbohydrates based on your activity and energy level. That's it. It doesn't got to be more complex than that. Again, yesterday we were at a football game. I knew I wasn't going to get back till late. Typically Saturday is when I, enjoy my cheat meals and these types of things. But we've been taking friends and family out to dinner, so I haven't been on my normal kind of routine. And so knowing that, grabbed a salad to go here, just an organic Cobb chicken salad, pretty simple. And I had it at home waiting for me. Everybody else stayed up later than me. Enjoyed what in my opinion is the best pizza in town, or one of them. And I'm like, let me just go to bed before I want to eat and bite my hand off. But again, planned ahead and prepped for it, and had a meal of just protein, produce, and water before I went to sleep. Super easy health hack for you guys to throw in. On top of all that, if you're going to look at your diet, and I was to give a percentage of what you're going to do, if you could make it 90% like whole food based, I think that would be ideal for many of you guys. Just really focusing on, is this food run, swim, fly? Does it grow from the earth? That's it. And the bag and the box stuff, I'm not saying avoid it like the plague, because it's fine. You can eat it. And there's a lot of, minimally, processed stuff that you can get access to that's really, really good for you. But if most of the food can be as real, as close to its real form as possible, I think you're going to be better off. I think most of you'll self-regulate better. And in the long term, you'll be able to eat more and you'll feel more satiated than if you're just trying to, supplement or process your way to where it goes. On top of that, if we talk about training, I'm trying to make these as easy as possible. Look at your whole week and see how many hours you really want to dedicate to fitness or that you can dedicate to fitness. And I've said this before on here many times. Most people, three workouts a week for 52 weeks is probably ideal for the average busy adult with kids and a job and who wants to have a normal life. 3 legit workouts per week, every week for 52 weeks, non-negotiable. How long are those workouts? If you could come in and do 30 efficient minutes 3 times a week for 52 weeks, and then do mobility and walking on the other days, and if there's anything else you do, you're going to win. You're going to be successful. That's it. If you can find a community, a gym, or an app or a program to follow, even better. So it's laid out for you. You just show up, it's brainless, and it's done. If you don't want to create your own programming and your own workouts. So if you came in somewhere Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, every other day, you walked 10,000 steps, you did mobility. Maybe some of the other days you rucked or did a farmer's carry variation, or you did some push-ups, or you went hiking or just did some shit that you like to do outside, you would crush. Super simple stuff. But you have to make those workouts be very focused. I was just talking to our young kid, Brian, here today, just about training in general and what's necessary, what's not necessary. And everybody's goals are different. And he's just like, I watch you work out here and you just put the clock on for an hour, like an EMOM every minute on the minute, and you just work. You just go through and you just work out with purpose and you're active. And I'm not saying you have to do movements every minute on the minute, but when you guys are training, if you're not in a group setting and you're not with a coach, I do like the every minute on the minute timer to click. Yes, it'll interrupt your music. Yes, it'll interrupt the movie that's playing. Yes, it'll interrupt the podcast you're listening to. That's fine. My goal during the workout is not to sit and check my phone. It's not to really watch Batman. It's not to really listen to a podcast. It's just on for background noise if I ever do listen to it. I'm there to train. This is my 60-minute window to not deal with Instagram, to not deal with email shit, to not deal with people fucking bugging me. It's just this is my 60 minutes to move with purpose. So whether that's starting with your mobility flows and then working into the actual training, that's fine. And some days it'll be more training than mobility. As you get older, if you're like me and you're getting to be over 40, it's maybe more mobility than actually training. But it's all movement and it all works. And when you really are squeezing the muscles and engaging and pushing end ranges, those are workouts. They really are. But you have to be focused with it. And so me knowing I have more hours because I make my own schedule to work out than many of you, I map it out and I plan it out and I kind of have an idea of what I'm going to do for the week. Now, it might change based on how my body feels, but it's very deliberate, concise, and I'm moving. And there might be days where I was here last week. There was a day where our dude Patrick popped in here to do his lift, and I did mobility his entire workout. And again, my body was super, super stiff and tight Wednesday. And I was just dragging ass. And I'm like, let me work through everything from, head to toe. And it probably took me an hour to go through everything. And on top of that, I just rocked. That was my day. I'm like, this should be on the docket today, but I'm tired. My body's sore from Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Let me put the timer on and just go through this deep, detailed mobility flow for a full hour and let me touch everything. And then after that, let me put on a heavy pack and just walk around. Again, I'm sharing this with you because I practice what I'm preaching to you guys. I'm not saying it to you like, oh, you should do this and I do this secret thing. No. The key here is longevity. Can we find a routine and a system that is sustainable for the long haul? Now, again, you might have to change and shift things as you age or seasons of life come up. But for the most part, how much time can you dedicate to your fitness each and every single week? And when can you steal those minutes? That's why, again, we're obviously rolling out with a microdosing mobility program. BJ Kaddour has always talked about the every hour on the hour stuff, but it's really simple. Like when you're at home, we call it like on the floor sitting. And again, I like to sit on the couch too and just, veg and relax depending on what kind of day I've had. But Oftentimes when I'm at home, I'll do that and then I'll just pop on the ground. Heather's notorious for having the foam roller. We either keep it in our laundry room or we just keep it out like in our living space. And she's just on the roller, or she'll be on a lacrosse ball, whether it be with her feet, rolling her upper back, her quads, glutes, whatever. And she's just there. When her and I might just be talking shit, or we might be watching a show, but she's doing the work intermittently, like throughout the day. Like if she, takes a lunch break, which is rare for her, she'll pop on the roller. She'll do it before work, she'll do it after work. If she has a 5 minute gap here, she'll pop on there. That's what I'm talking about. You're stealing minutes throughout the day. That could be for push-ups, that could be for squats. You don't have to do an entire 30 minutes at one time. It's great if you can. Obviously dedicate that. I think that's ideal. But on a day where you're busy and you can't, steal 5 minutes here, steal 3 minutes here, steal 2 minutes there. I bring up the floor sitting because I'll sit on the floor. If you're watching a game or you're watching TV, the odds of you sitting in that same stiff, rigid spot the entire time are really rare. Because what will happen is, oh, you know what, my hip is kind of sore here, my back is kind of stiff. And you'll go from sitting down, maybe leaning back with your hands on, to sitting cross-legged. Then you might move into a 90-90. Then you might move into a single leg hamstring stretch. Then you might move into a double hamstring stretch. You might move into sitting on your feet. You might move into a couch stretch. You'll have some discovery there, and you'll just continuously move your body through space. And if you do that for just 10 minutes a day, that 10 minutes, if you just, even if you're not specific about it, just moving around consistently for that 10-minute window is going to help you guys be more mobile and more fit. And when you're down there, you'd be surprised the stuff that you come up with. Oh, I might do a Spider-Man step here. I might do a yoga push-up here. And if you have a dog, it becomes kind of like this active play with your dog as well. Because if you're like us, you could have the whole house open and you pop on a foam roller, and for some reason your dog, love her to death, wants to sit right next to you, or it's not possible for you to roll or move at all. That's easy to do. That's low-hanging fruit. If you were more specific about it for you guys, if you had a dedicated 5-minute mobility routine, again, we have these available. First thing in the morning, wake up. If you got time, do 5 minutes of mobility. If you can't do it then, do it pre-workout, post-workout. If you can build it into the workout, great. Or do it at night. As you're going to like wind down and relax, if you want to just foam roll and let your body kind of melt into the roller, I think that's ideal too. All these things are just super easy, basic things you can integrate into your day. Some of it takes a little planning and a little bit of prep work, but for most people, walking 7,000 to 10,000 steps, 30 minutes a day, it can be done. Doing your best to get 6, 7, 8 quality hours of restorative sleep, easy to be done. 3 legit workouts per week where you're picking up some kind of load and aerobically pushing yourself a little bit, 3 by 52, that can be done. Eating 30 to 50 grams of protein in like each meal, you guys can do that too. Drinking water with electrolytes. Being outside as often as you can. Trying to get some natural sunlight. That's it. There's so many things you can stack on top of that, but for most people, the easiest things that we're not doing that would allow us to be as fit and healthy as humanly possible are all the things that I just mentioned. Trying to sleep better, trying to eat better food, moving your body around. Again, movement isn't going to fix everything. It can't cure every ailment. Sometimes you'll have injuries and you have things going on where it limits what's possible, but you just do the best you can with where you're at. That's what I would say to anybody. And for most of us, we dedicate a disproportionate amount of time to our careers and to our jobs, and it's fine. It's who you are. It's what you do. And if you like it, respect. But again, just like social media, just like anything in life, there's a price to be paid. And if you're sitting at a desk for 5, 6, 7 hours in a day, you got to do at least 5, 6, 7 minutes of mobility, you guys. Like, I know it sounds fucking crazy, but you know how many people sit at a desk for 8 hours a day and don't do 8 minutes of mobility a week, and then they wonder why their hips are so tight, their hamstrings are so tight, they have upper back pain, or they have this, I don't know the percentage, but it's huge. It's almost like 90%, I think, of people who go in um, for low back issues. It's like, I don't know, I forget the term. It's like they came, it's like non-describable back pain. Like they don't even have a term for it, and they don't know where it came from. And if I had to guess, it's probably sitting, you know. Um, Hips get tight, um, quads get tight, TFL, hip flexors, you name it, pulls the pelvis forward, boom, gives a little anterior pelvic tilt for some people, pushes the disc down, boom, there you are. Now, if you're going to sit at a desk for 8 hours a day, you should probably do some quad openers. You should probably do a couch stretch for a couple of minutes per day. That's it. Again, it's nothing crazy, it's nothing complex, but I think a lot of the physical ailments that people get would be solved by getting outside, getting sunshine, getting protein, produce, and water at each meal, trying to get quality sleep, walking your 8 to 10,000 steps a day. If you can ruck, if you can sled push, if you can do farmer's carries on top of that, fucking amazing. If you want to train legitly a couple times a week with a mix of lifting weights and aerobic work, and then staying hydrated with water and electrolytes, and then supplementing on top of that, if you want to take something like an AG1, making sure your body's getting enough fish oils and vitamin Ds, boom. Win-win-win across the board. I could make this podcast 5 hours long, but it doesn't got to be more complex than that. For most people, that's going to get you to where you need to go. And if you're listening to this and you're like, Jeremy, I do all those things, respect. All I would say to you is, if you want to be healthier on top of that, limit your intake of the highly processed foods and the super high palatable fat and sugary foods that you're putting in your body that leads you to overeating. Or if you're abusing drugs and alcohol, stop doing that. Cut back on those things. A lot of times people might do all this and then they drink, 4 bottles of wine a week, and they wonder why they're not, feeling the way they want to, and they're not seeing the results that they want to. And the answer is looking you in the face, but you just have to come to grips with it and say, you know what, hey, maybe if I drink 2 bottles of wine a week instead of 4, that would be great. I'm not telling you to live like a hobbit or live like a monk and not do anything and live your life. I think it's important, if you want to go out and have a beer and eat pizza, that stuff's all great and it has its place. If 90% of your diet, give or take, is minimally processed, whole, real, nutrient-dense foods, that's it. And you're not drinking each and every single day. Or just cut the volume in half or cut it down from what you're currently doing and just make, little baby steps towards that. That's the easiest thing I can see. And for everybody listening, if you find yourself stiff and sore and tight, I'm going to hop back on this train for a second. Just do the mobility piece, please. Just really assess your body every day of how it feels. And, again, there's a price to be paid to be super fit. When your body looks like it's tight, and it's ripped and you're shredded and you look great, there's a price paid there. Your tissue comes back for the most part, but the joints, the shoulder you got at 45 is the same shoulder you had when you're 8. It's just got a lot more miles on it. The same thing for your knees, your hips, your ankles. And you got to get those joints lubricated. You got to do some joint juicing. You have to just play around. And sometimes it's simple shit, like doing reverse arm circles. As crazy as that sounds. If you guys want to go extreme and do the qigong stuff, that's all good too. Any movement for the body is better than not moving it at all. And the more dynamic the movement can be, the more range of motion you can move through, even bear crawls and crab walks and all these things. Just divorcing your mind from having to, it can only be this specific set of lifting and aerobic work, and I always got to beat the shit out of myself. It's not true, because as you get older, things will tend to get tighter and stiffer if you don't work on keeping things mobile and loose. And that is the key here. We want to feel good. We don't want to feel bound up and tight and sore. You don't want to live in a prison inside your own body. And I've been there, man. Injuries suck. Being sick sucks. Having, things wrong is not fun. And I can't guarantee you're not going to get injured. I can't guarantee you won't get sick. I can't guarantee you won't have some medical issue come up. But what I can say is, if you do all these things, which are very basic, in my opinion, things all humans should do, it will cut down on those things happening. And when they do happen, I believe you're going to navigate and get through them much better than somebody who has, 60 extra pounds to lose and all these other terrible underlying habits. And wouldn't it be nice to avoid a lot of these injuries and things that are happening around you by just having some simple, low hanging fruit daily habits to integrate into your life? And nothing I shared here is going to take up 5 hours of your day. I'm not telling you to have a 3 hour fucking morning routine. I'm not telling you to go out and sun your butthole. That's not what I'm saying. Like, you can do all that stuff, great. You can do 20 minutes of grounding. You can meditate. That stuff's all awesome. That would be on top of this. These are basic human things. Everything I listed is just stuff you can integrate into your life right now that would take up no more than the 30 minutes a couple of times a week and a little bit of mobility time. That's it. Everything else you can do. And if you can up your steps, you'd be surprised how easy it is to up your steps, you guys. If you go to the grocery store, you take a trip, you go somewhere, I know you're short for time, park in the furthest parking spot and walk. Sometimes it's as easy as that. And again, you already know this shit. Take the stairs, not the elevator. Just move around. Go home, sit on the floor, do a wall sit, do a Buddha squat. Just move your body around. It is a gift that you can. And that's all I got for you guys today. Again, if you got a question on these, you guys can just ask. But a quick recap, it's just walking more, rucking, carrying some things. If you can push a sled, great. Eat a diet of protein, produce, and water. Get quality sleep. Get outside. See the sun. If you can get some skin exposure to the sun, great. Stay hydrated. Put some electrolytes in your body. Drink quality coffee. Don't abuse drugs and alcohol. Don't watch the fucking news on top of that. And surround yourself with positive people. And surround yourself with positive things. Watch things that put you in a good mood. Watch things that motivate you. Watch things that make you feel good. Don't watch things that always make you feel like shit. Don't get sucked into an Instagram and YouTube trap and 3 hours go by. That's what I mean. Like, last thing I'll leave you with is with the social media piece. I'm not against it. I love it. I'm thankful for you guys. I appreciate the support. I'll never not say that. Instead of sitting on Instagram for 15 minutes and scrolling, put your phone down. Do 15 minutes of mobility. Instead of being, just in every single Netflix show and watching it for 3 hours to crack, go for a walk. Go for a ruck with your wife or your dog. Or go, play with your kids and annoy the hell out of them for a little bit. Chase them around the house, whatever it may be, just to get you up and moving. I think if you really stop and look at your day, what is your screen time on your phone? How much of that is work? How much of that is play? Or how much of that is just wasted time? Sitting on YouTube, going over video after video after video, and you watched 42 minutes of video, and yet you only got 3,000 steps in for the day. You watched, 4 hours of Netflix, but you didn't have time to cook your own dinner. You know what I'm saying? Like, and some people are just busy. You got 4 kids and your life is what it is. Take these pieces as you can and steal the moments when you guys possibly can. But for anybody else, if you find yourself doing things that are time wasters and just chewing up your day, I think if you can swap some of those things for these, you'll be a lot healthier and a lot happier in the process. So hopefully this helps you guys. If nothing else, just a reminder and a refresher of some benchmarks and some things to do. But for many of you who are listening, even if you're fitness people, like I know a lot of you are, the mobility and the rolling piece, I think, is huge. And if you can do a little bit more of that and build it into your workouts or just extend that and beat the shit out of your body less and do more of those things, overall your workouts will be better. You'll have better quality range of motion, and you'll be in the game a lot longer. And you'll be in the game, hopefully, injury-free a lot longer than the people who run into roadblocks just because their body is so stiff and bound and tight. And I hate to say it, every day, especially, we're all getting older, and after the age of probably 25 or 30 for sure, if you're not fighting it, like all hell, you're going to get older and softer and wrinklier, and your hair will get grayer and thinner, and things will just they'll go sideways on you real quick if you don't try to combat it, and you will get stiffer for sure. There is a point of diminishing athletic skills. That's why I don't see a lot of professional athletes, into their 40s that are super athletic because it's just Father Time, is trying to catch us all. So if you're just the average Joe out there and you're not, really trying to improve your strength, improve your health habits, improve your mobility and range of motion, to think they're magically going to get better 5 years from now from doing nothing, maybe. But I think it's a pipe dream. And wouldn't it be cool to say, hey, I'm 50 years old and I have the best health habits I've ever had. I'm 50 years old and I'm eating better than I've ever eaten before. I'm 50 years old and I'm way stronger than I ever thought I would be. At 50, I can, touch my toes. I can hang from a pull-up bar for 2 minutes. Like all these wild things that 99% of people will never do, but you'll still be able to do it because you integrated these really small, basic things each and every day. I always compare here on like how people, become 100 pounds overweight or how people become $100,000 in credit card debt. It's not like you gained 30 pounds in a day. You didn't gain 30 pounds in a weekend. You gained 4 or 5 pounds every 3 months. And then in a couple of years, you gain 100 pounds. Or maybe you gained, 20 pounds in a year, but you didn't gain the 20 pounds in a day. And same thing. You got $100,000 in your Amex. Man, that sucks. You probably didn't go out and buy a boat and a car with it. You fell behind on the payments and you spent an extra $1,000, for, 100 months in a row, or with the compound interest, probably not even that long. You probably did it for, 2 years, and all of a sudden that debt just piled up and up and up. But on the flip side, if you just had a daily practice of, well, I'm just going to make sure I save $14 a day every day and be in the positive versus the negative. Or, you know what? I'm just going to make sure I get my steps in. I'm going to make sure I eat real food, 9 out of 10 times. And so I'm not going to have this slow creep of weight come up. I'm not going to have this slow creep of debt pop up. If you look at your life, you're always practicing everything, good and bad. Physical practice, emotional practice, mental practice. You're doing it. You're practicing breathing right now. As you're listening to me, think about it. You've been breathing this entire time. You wouldn't hear me if you weren't. You'd be dead. Whether that practice of breathing is good, whether it's, nasal breathing, whether that's diaphragmatic breathing, whether you're, anxious and you're running or you're exercising, right now you're inhaling, exhaling at a good pace or a bad pace, you are breathing and you have been practicing it this entire time. Everything in your life is a practice, you guys. And so if you look at it and you're not happy with where it's at, just integrate, not huge changes, small little things that can easily add into your day to make you move better and feel better and be healthier for a lifetime. So again, hopefully it helped. If you guys have questions on anything, please ask. If you're on Apple Podcast, drop it a 5-star. Doesn't take very long. 5-star it, leave a comment. I'll steal this from BJ Gador. He just, he says, leave a comment that says BJ Podcast Good. If you want to leave a comment that says Jeremy Podcast Good, selfishly, I'll take it. It helps us. It helps us keep making this free content for you guys to help you. If you're on Spotify, leave a 5-star. I'd appreciate it. If you want to share it with a friend or family member, even better. If you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate you guys as well. And again, if you guys want to jump in the Jeremy Scott Fitness app, November 20th, we're dropping the microdosing mobility, but there's thousands of workouts in there already for you guys to try, answer every question that everybody asks inside the group. So it's like having your own personal coach, walking you guys through everything. And then again, if you want a free sample of AG1, hit me up. I'm happy to send it to your front door. Again, we still have the discount code on the Go Ruck Pack. So if you want to get into rucking in detail and use the exact gear that I use, which I'm not just saying this, it is the best gear that's out there. I'm happy to share that with you. You guys will get a discount on that. I think it's live for a couple of days. I'm seeing if they can extend it, but hit me up ASAP if that's what you want to do. And as always, I appreciate you guys. I'll most likely pop on next weekend. Hopefully, I can get Heather on and she can share her running 10-mile trail run experience with you guys, because it is a gem of a story, and I don't want to steal her thunder and give it to you without her giving her first tank account. But she is a badass, and I think it'll be a fun time to catch up with her on here. So thank you. If you need something from me, please reach out. Otherwise, have an amazing rest of your Sunday or whatever day you kids are listening to this. Happy Halloween. Don't take candy from strangers. It's creepy. It's weird. Who knows what they put into it? But did it as a kid my entire life, and I made it here. And man, going trick-or-treating in the Midwest in October, sometimes it was rough. Sometimes it's even snowing. Brutal. Cold as shit. You just have to put on like a Jason mask with your full winter attire and just sprint around the neighborhood. And the amount of candy that I would eat for days, just so terrible for your teeth, so terrible for your body. The fact that I'm not fucking dead, all the shit that my body has been through, man, from then all the way through college is just a complete miracle. But just goes to show you, your body's a resilient thing. So have a great Halloween, you guys. Stay safe as always. Eat your candy in moderation. If you're handing out trick-or-treat candy and you want to force yourself to not eat it, buy the shit that you don't like. That's what we do at our house. We buy all the things that we don't like, so we give it away. And even if it's there, we don't want to eat it because it sucks. I'm not out there buying Reese's peanut butter cups and Snickers because it'd be way harder to fight when I'm hangry and tired if I got 100 of those samples sitting at my house. So a little pro tip for you there. Have an amazing rest of your day, everybody. And until next time, eat well, train hard, be nice to people. And please, you guys, keep doing shit you love with people you enjoy because your life is too short not to. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.